It's hard to know how much to pack. I might bring a spare
Before I
notebook
leave,
just in
I should
case.
know where I'm going. Dr. Watson, how does a trip to Switzerland sound to you?
It sounds unexpected. What makes you think we should head there?
It's all about the box with narcotics and Mr. Colby's clue, the cross inside a rectangle. Put two and two together, add a dash of research, and what do you get? The Black Edelweiss Institute in Interlaken, Switzerland. If we hurry, we can still catch tonight's train. As grateful as I have been for your company, Dr. Watson, I'm afraid you shall have to investigate Edelweiss alone.
Hello? Mr. Holmes, I fear you overestimate my abilities.
Nonsense. You are a military man, a bastion of British courage.
I'm no such thing. As a doctor, I avoided most combat, save for one dreadful day. My troop was ambushed in a village with innocents caught in the crossfire. Too many to help.
The man with the rosary. He was one of them?
A translator, yes. We were trapped. 6 soldiers and myself. I thought it was the end. But Lieutenant Paget refused to go quietly. The men prepared for a final stand. I rose to follow, but Paget shook his head. He told me to run, that I had other men to save. They charged, and I fled through the rear. So you see, Mr. Holmes, I am a coward.
The logic seems inescapable.
Yes.
You, a surgeon by trade, would have been perfectly useless in that conflict.
What? No.
And how many men have you helped since? Ailments eased, troubles tended?
No more than a handful. Truth be told, I have become somewhat of a recluse.
How many people could you help with 30 years ahead of you? Dozens? Hundreds? Paget was correct. You can cease your self-recrimination.
Holmes, I don't know what to say.
I would start with, I am Dr. John Watson, may I look around? The Edelweiss staff will doubtless be eager to show off their facilities to a fellow physician. I have already taken the liberty of sending a letter on your behalf to request a visit.
And what of you?
I shall be pursuing other avenues. Should you see anything troublesome or improper, simply notify the local authorities. Otherwise, try a little analysis yourself. You know my methods. Apply them.
Salutations, madam. I am Dr. John Watson. I was wondering if you've got word of my visit.
Yeah, Dr. Watson. We received your letter on the matter. Would it be to see Professor Gygax?
At their earliest convenience, yes. I shall try not to take up too much of their valuable time.
Wait here, bitte. Mr. and Mrs. Bronson, your girl has made remarkable progress. See? Take a look for yourself. My apologies for keeping you waiting, Dr. Watson. Surely you understand how medical work can make one lose track of time.
Do not be sorry, Professor. I too know the importance of closely attending to patients.
The work hardly stops here, yet the satisfaction of perfecting the mind compels us to persevere.
I take it you welcome many a soul into your establishment?
Admissions, yes. Visitors, though? I am curious as to what brought you to the Schwarzes Edelweiss.
Word of mouth. An article I read back in London spoke highly of your institution. But rather than taking its word for it, I thought I would see things for myself.
My asylum's reputation precedes it, then.
Everyone, your attention, please. Guten Day. Yes, hi. Hello. The name's Amos Colby, Northwood Detective Agency, Boston. I got questions that need answers. Who's in charge here?
What seems to be the matter, Dr. Watson? You can tell me.
By Jove, it cannot be him. Right. Yes. I was surprised because that man is a celebrity. Yes, that's it. Very famous, Mr. Colby. I couldn't believe my eyes.
No. In my line of work, it can't wait. The longer it takes
If
me
you
to
wish
get
to
the truth,
recuperate,
the
Dr.
more
Watson,
lives
you
are
may
placed
avail
in
yourself
harm's
of the
way.
guest room.
But I have so much more to discuss.
Nurse, if you'd be so kind as to escort Dr. Watson to the guest room. Herr Colby, from Northwood Agency? How unexpected. I am Professor Gygax. I would be happy to answer your questions in the examination room.
Look, Professor, unless you got any clues as to the whereabouts of...
There is no need to be alarmed. No one gets neglected in my care.
Now, let's not resort to brute force.
Do not worry, Herr Colby. My methods are rather more delicate. Search him thoroughly. Then take him to the holding chamber. I need to decide precisely what to do with our guest.
The unmistakable scent of alcoholism. Did you walk through their doors as I did, or did they collect you off the streets? Truncheon, not the typical tool for a nurse.
You there! I command you to free me at once!
I'm not sure that's a great idea at the moment.
How dare you deny me? I must have my revenge against the lickspittles upstairs.
Fortunately for you, I'm here to stop the very same people.
You are?
Indeed. But first, I must discover all I can about this institution. Tell me, have you witnessed the arrival of any foreign patients?
Tell me? The gall! The impertinence to bark such orders!
Please, we don't have time for this.
Do you know with whom you speak? I am the great Napoleon!
Napoleon Bonaparte?
The one and only. Emperor of the French, First Consul of the Republic, leader of La Grande Armée. Once I am free and have exacted my revenge against the guards who ridicule me, I shall rest happy in the arms of my beloved Josephine.
Right. Well, I will leave you to your scheming, Emperor.
My heart is pierced by Cupid. I disdain all glittering gold. There is nothing can console me but my jolly sailor gold.
Raw materials used to formulate medicine. Any chemist would envy the quality of this equipment. The final product, ready to cure madness or to push one deeper into its grasp. With this equipment, they can create any type of medication. It sounds sinister, even for a place like this. I wonder if there are more frogs. Frogs in the pond.
What was that? Is someone there? I'm sure I heard something.
There's the guest room. I wonder if Watson was able to speak to Gygax. This sedative worked faster than I expected. Perhaps I ought to train myself, build up a tolerance. Locked. I suppose the reception will be guarded anyway. Darn. No way I can get past him without being noticed. I'd rather not sit in this chair ever again.
Who's there? Show yourself. Hey, what are you doing? Who's there? Show yourself.
I'd rather not sit in this chair ever again.
I command you to let me out!
Hey, what are you doing?
Any chemist would envy the quality of this equipment. Raw materials used to formulate medicine. A truncheon, not the typical tool for a nurse. Darn. No way I can get past him without being noticed. Locked. I suppose the reception will be guarded anyway. a certificate of appreciation from the municipal councillor to Professor Becker for contributions to the development of medicine in Interlaken. A simple toolbox, yet capable of repairing anything. Tubes of varying diameters. Interesting. John Sallow, the Tulpa phenomenon. I'm somewhat of an expert already. R.G. Hill, Dr. Connolly. It appears that all the psychiatric classics were banished here. Speech and the Cerebellum by S.A. Painting in a mental institution. Vogel would be delighted. This photo was damaged, seemingly by oil. I can make out the names listed here. Cooking grease. Is this the kitchen dumbwaiter? Looks like it's still operational.
Hey, what are you doing?
This should suffice.
I command you to let me out!
This should be enough to avoid unwanted attention, at least from a distance. Manufactured and packaged here. This is the same narcotic substance that we found in London.
Go away, or I will tear your lips from your skull with my fingernails!
Miss,
I'll gouge your eyes out and cut off your hands, just like you did to Heidi.
I am quite certain you would, but I'm afraid you have me mistaken for someone else. So, I take it your name is Gerda? Who is Heidi?
You talk strange. You're going to Hell's Door, aren't ya? To where those other funny talkers finally shut up?
Hell's Door? To what do you refer?
Only Heidi had answers. Go away, pig!
I
said go, or you will spend your last moments on Earth screaming. This door won't stop me. They took you away, and I'll never forgive them.
The killer was strong enough and the bathtub deep enough to drown poor Lucy. The garments of several dozen people at least. Fabric burnt in the furnace. A jalabia, a traditional garment from northern Africa. So you're Heidi. I didn't realize I was on Haunted Doll Watch. Good Lord, how unsettling. The damage seems intentional.
I will make them pay for what they did to Heidi.
I believe I have found your friend.
Heidi! Oh, poor girl. What did they do to you?
Shh. It's all right now. Everything will be all right.
Please, Gerda, now I have found Heidi, I need some help from you in return.
Shh, Heidi. We should thank the man, don't you think?
Have you ever met Professor Becker?
I remember him. He was in charge here before that witch Gygax. But I haven't heard his voice for a long time. Too bad. He was nice.
How did you end up in Block B?
The nurses say I'm prone to violent outbursts, but they're wrong. I just do what Heidi tells me.
Tell me all you know about those funny-talking people.
We'd hear their screams. The guards would take them down the corridor behind you and they'd disappear, and the screams would stop.
Professor Gygax seems to rule this facility with an iron fist. Do you know anything about her?
She's sick. She did nasty things to us. Separated me and Heidi just for fun. Before she got here, this place was all right.
I shall leave you two. The murderer used his left hand to kill Hannah with a brick. The killer swapped Timothy's pills for cyanide. The faint almond scent is unmistakable. So this is how they kept the prisoners docile and harmless. An orthodox reliquary commonly found in Eastern Europe, now in a cell halfway up the Alps. This stretcher was disinfected frequently. These are the same crates we found in London. I should take a closer look. The killer was limping, but Abigail couldn't escape. The stamp on this crate confirms it came from America. That's quite a distance to travel. A bottle this sturdy doesn't break by accident. Substantial blood loss. One poor soul found another way out. I doubt that one could survive such a journey with this little water. This is the same design as the one from London. The kidnappers even provided airflow. How generous. Dirt and sweat. They were locked in here for days, judging by the smell. This trip was prolonged and perilous. The doors can be opened for deliveries. Carriages were backed through these doors, and they began to unload their cargo in secret. Next, the crates were opened, freeing their passengers. Not everyone survived the journey. The dirty, exhausted, and dehydrated prisoners were then herded into cells. But all the cells are now empty, and I have not located a morgue. Time to find Hell's Door. Scratches. Something has been moved through here. This seems to be a locking mechanism. The whole thing must be a door. I found Hell's Door, the one that made the foreigners silent, remember? How do I open it? Gerda, please, I cannot get inside. You have to tell me how to open it.
How can you speak to me like nothing's wrong? Can't you hear Heidi crying? Look at her! Look! She's suffering. I can't even hear my thoughts over her screams. Poor Heidi. We will fix you. I promise. We will fix you!
Leave it with me, Gerda. Petter gouged at the wall, fighting for his life. Odds are he left scars on the killer, too. Well, it's clear that it was a multiple murderer. I'll send the profile to the police after we finish here. Will this help fix your friend?
Give it to me.
How is she feeling?
Everything will be all right, Heidi. Everything.
Gerda, I have a couple of questions.
Yes,
Dirty little mouth, Gerda. You've said enough already. She won't speak no more. Now it's only Heidi. You helped me, and I didn't cut out your eyes. So we're even. Now go!
Heidi, there are things I need some clarity on.
Ask if you dare, but if I get bored, there will be consequences. You... What?
I found Hell's Door, but it's locked. Is there a way to get in?
Hell's Door? Never heard of it.
That's not true. You, Gerda, told me that Hell's Door makes people silent forever.
And you believe that snotty little girl? I'll personally ensure that she never dares to speak again!
Professor Gygax hurt you repeatedly, scarred your body and mind. You are not protecting Hell's Door. You are simply afraid of the consequences were I to enter.
I could tap your teeth out with a hammer until you choked on the blood and bits.
You could. But then you would live the rest of your life in fear of Professor Gygax. I can make that feeling go away.
How?
I can stop her. But the key, Heidi, the key to Hell's Door is critical to stopping Professor Gygax. And I think you know where it is.
Tell him!
But you said
And now I say tell him!
the professor. She has a special key. Keeps it close and only brings it down when new people go through. Behind those closed doors, those people start to sing. Oh, they sing in so much pain.
Gygax. Of course. Thank you, Gerda. Heidi. I must leave.
Leave? You joke. Nobody leaves the Edelweiss. Now you will be with us forever!
At last! You came to your senses.
My humble apologies, Emperor.
Spare me your groveling, Englishman.
Of course, you are right as ever, for you see, time is of the essence. The Royalists have risen again, and your darling Josephine needs you. Paris needs you.
Mon amour!
But the guards upstairs in reception stand in your way.
Ha! They will pose no problem for the likes of me. Merci, Englishman. When I return to Les Tuileries, I shall make you a general.
Oh, you are too kind, Emperor. Now go. Your freedom awaits.
I am coming, Josephine. Josephine, me voilà. Catch him!
Watson, over here.
Holmes? What are you doing here, and where did you get that outfit?
It is unimportant. I require your assistance.
What is happening, Holmes? I need an explanation.
It's quite simple. I created a distraction so that I could tell you something important, and in turn, I need you to acquire something important for me.
How can you call any of this charade simple?
Watson, we can discuss this later. Time is of the utmost importance. The kidnapped people may still be here. This is what I know so far.
What? You really found all this on your own?
Focus, Watson. I need you to find a key. It will be most unique. All the details are in my notes. Logic dictates that Gygax will keep it near her. Once acquired, you must get it to me. Perhaps the kitchen dumbwaiter could be of use.
Holmes, I can't do this. I'm no spy.
Yes, you can, Watson. You are unfailingly dependable.
Dr. Watson, visitors are not permitted back here.
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Kuntz. After the war, my nerves, I fled all that commotion.
It is nothing. A patient attempted to escape. He will not get far. Now, if you would like to follow me.
Blood in the water. Someone must have washed their hands here recently. What have we got ourselves into, Holmes? The only reason to hang something this harrowing here would be to create another patient. Did a child make these? Perhaps I should take this. For all I hope it won't be needed. Looks dusty but functional.
Oh, we never use that. I think it connects somewhere downstairs.
I'm struggling to remember something. It's something familiar. If only I could place it. I must think.
I want them to fly!
Good Lord, that's a lot of records.
Dr. Watson. Just the man I wanted to see.
Professor, I'm surprised you're not trying to catch that escapee.
Please, my time is far too valuable. I hope Nurse Kuntz has been taking good care of you.
He has certainly kept me out of trouble.
Professor, it is time for your appointment with your next patient, Mr. Wolf.
Herr Wolf can wait until tomorrow. I wish to speak with Dr. Watson.
As you wish.
You still see patients yourself, even as the director of this entire facility?
Only the important ones. And yet I rarely get to pick the brain of a man like yourself. I think it is time we got to know each other, no?
I'm afraid there's not much to know. I'm just an average chap living a rather prosaic life these days.
Dr. Watson, those of us who pursue knowledge are anything but average. Now, who are you?
I'm a physician in search of a stimulating career. I have patients, yes, but admittedly, I'm more interested in the cutting edge of medical research. So when I read about the Black Edelweiss and your work on the healing of minds, I simply had to learn more.
I suppose my Edelweiss was always destined to attract other curious minds. But before we continue, I want you to understand one thing. A broken mind can never be truly healed.
Ah, I see. So, what exactly do you do here?
It is simple. If you cannot fix a person's nature, you must force them to forget it.
Surely there are other methods of treatment.
How naive. You remind me of a man I once knew, Professor Becker. But we do not speak of him anymore.
A colleague?
The former director here. One day he realized that Edelweiss had outgrown him and had to leave his house. Do you grow weary of me already, Doctor?
How rude of me. I was absorbing your wise words, Professor, and must have got distracted.
Was my conversation boring you?
No, not at all. I merely...
No, I understand full well. You're not seeking conversation.
What do you mean?
It is obvious. Your mind craves truth, but not in this form. You must witness a practical demonstration if you are to learn.
I'm certainly intrigued. Would that be possible?
Of course. I propose a journey between the jury of the human brain. You will not leave without being truly enlightened. Kuntz, take Dr. Watson back to the courtyard. Then tell the nurses to prepare the operation room and the girl with the doll.
Yes, Professor.
Our preparations will take a little time. I will come for you soon, Doctor.
You are Mr. Wolf, am I right?
Oh, hello. Who might you be?
My name is Dr. John Watson. I wanted to talk with you, if you didn't mind.
Ah, Doctor. I don't suppose you could help. I seem to have forgotten where I am.
We're in the Black Edelweiss, Mr. Wolf. It's an asylum in Switzerland, and you are one of its most important patients.
But why am I here?
That's what I was about to ask you.
I can't remember. Sorry, I can't remember anything.
It's all right, you don't need to push. Try to relax. Let the thoughts come and go. Now, what comes to mind? Mr. Wolf?
Oh, hello. Who might you be?
We just went over this.
I'm sorry, but I don't think we've met.
We were just discussing this facility, the Black Edelweiss Asylum, and why you are here.
That name does sound familiar.
Holmes, the things I do for you.
Excuse me, who are you? And who's this Holmes fellow?
I am Dr. Watson, and Holmes is, well, you could call him my imaginary friend. That's just a little joke, don't mind me.
But why am I here, Doctor? Am I sick?
I'm sure I can take a look. Gygax do to you?
Excuse me? Who are you?
Oh, never mind. Again. You won't remember me, but we've met before. I am Dr. John Watson, and you are Professor Becker. You were the previous director of this facility, the Black Edelweiss.
Professor, really? Actually, that name does sound familiar. Wait. Let me write it down. I try to recall memories through writing, but they always feel just out of reach.
As a matter of fact, I have more for you to jot down.
Oh, yes. Yes, please, anything.
Professor Gygax did this to you. She made you forget everything, even who you are. But we will play a trick on her. We will write a letter so that she learns her lesson. Put down what I dictate. Dear Professor Gygax, I bitterly regret that I let my beautiful alpine flower fall under your influence. I see now that you never deserved to sit as the director of the Black Edelweiss. You are not, as you so claimed, the future of the Edelweiss, and you never were. And by the time you make it to my cell, the police will already know the truth of how you came to be director of this asylum. Signed, Professor Becker.
There. It's done. Now, hold on a minute. Who are you?
My name is John Watson. I am a doctor from London, a veteran of Afghanistan, and I wish to be a writer, though deep down I fear I lack the talent. And presently I am risking my life to help my brilliant detective flatmate in the pursuit of a cult of kidnappers, even as I fear it may destroy him. I'm tired and hungry, and I have not had a good bath in weeks, and yet despite it all, I feel alive. Any more questions?
Good heavens, sir. You're as mad as they come.
One of the patients asked me to deliver this note. It's for Professor Gygax.
Thank you, Doctor. Leave it with me.
Unbelievable. Kunz, with me.
Close, but I don't think this is the key. This is too... An Edelweiss relief about... This must be what her...
Sealed tight. I can't exit the same way. The tooth of an adult male, likely lost in a beating. Only a couple of days old. The inside of the cuff is worn. It's been used often. A wax cylinder. There is something recorded on it. The writing is mostly gone. Phonetic symbols, perhaps. Looks as if it's been recently used. very professional brain dissection. Dynamo machine. Provides electrical stimulation for the person in the chair. Full grain leather straps. Impossible to escape. Oh, the smell. Dear God, is that body parts? Dear God, is that body parts? Judging by the remnants of blood and flesh, these instruments were used for dismemberment. Utterly inhuman.
Get out of my head!
Your mind festers devoid of soul. Find reverence for the one that trembled.
Great Lord!
Left your body. Surrender your soul and become a servant of madness.
Please! No more! Stop it! Watson! John! Somebody!
Wretched mortal, do not fear what is to come. Let him rupture our world anew. Awaken, and let the
World behold!
The light of the abyss is the light from the abyss. Get out of my head. Dear God, is that a hydraulic elevator? How ingenious. Watson?
Holmes?
What are you still doing here?
Still? I was trying to find more information. Did you think I was just going to sit in my room twiddling my thumbs?
I only asked you to find the key. I had everything else under control.
Says the man who looks like he saw a ghost.
I'm fine, Watson.
You're hardly fine. You reek of congealed blood and chemicals. What did you see down there?
Never mind me. Where's Gygax?
I'm afraid she's over there. I found her like that when I entered, on my word.
What? She was our biggest lead.
Yet another wrinkle in our investigation. What do we do now, Holmes?
Hush. Let me think. Heidi, how did it end up here? The pencil is buried deep all the way to the brain. Instant death. No traces of blood on her clothes. Must have got on her white overcoat. The patients here wear the same robes.
We'd better inform the local police about this.
You're right, Watson. But first, we need to determine where our case goes next. We've got what we needed, Watson. This conspiracy reaches further than we thought. I don't suppose you've ever been to New Orleans?
You are joking.
I seldom do. Let's go. There's no time to waste. There's nothing in this world that cannot be explained with logic and reason. Nothing in this world.
Holmes?
Hmm?
You seem troubled.
I'm not troubled, Watson. I am preoccupied.
That place was awful. Inhumane. It would be natural to experience some feelings of shock or fear.
Men reduced to gibbering imbeciles, numb beyond recognition, powerless to help themselves. When a doctor does go wrong, they are the first of criminals. They have the nerve and they have the knowledge.
That woman did not deserve the title. Such casual cruelty for such selfish aims.
I knew another man like that once. He treated my mother, perhaps even killed her, depending on who you ask.
My sincere condolences.
In the end, she was just a shadow of herself. The outline of the person I recognized, but lacking all else. She was pushed until she cracked. Should you see me cracking, John, I must ask you to intervene.
Nothing compels us to pursue this matter further, Sherlock. We can return to London, report what we have discovered. Let more capable hands take over.
Alas, there are no such hands. Were we to abandon our quest now, I fear no other would succeed in our stead.
We know nothing of what awaits, what dangers lurk in the darkness.
Nonsense. We draw nearer to New Orleans with every passing minute, and thus closer to the answers we seek. Those answers, for all their perversity and improbability, will, nevertheless, be the work of men. And that is a work I have studied well.
So be it.
I know you to be a diligent author, but if I may make one request. Kindly omit my mother and her suffering from your tale.
Of course.
Thank you, John.
Ah, Holmes. After our trip to nippy Switzerland, I can certainly use some of this New World heat.
Do not get carried away, Watson. What we could certainly use are answers to my questions.
I know, but you look exhausted. Why didn't we find the hotel first?
We shall rest when our investigation is over, and not a moment sooner. I shall ask you to handle our bags while I search for the bank.
As you wish. Oi! Stop it, you! Our luggage! Good Lord, what have you done? That's my stuff.
I'm sorry, mister. It was an accident.
Ah, not an auspicious start, is it? Never mind, I'll handle it. You go on ahead.
It's fine, it's fine. I'll just put everything back. Where are the socks?
Could you help me?
Of course. Stop me when you've heard enough.
Black opals being auctioned at the banking house of E.W. Gray. More people missing here, too. Our ship leaves tomorrow morning. No room for sightseeing then. Do you know anything about this?
Don't be angry with me, sir, but I don't know.
Mr. Frank Barnaby, right? Auction's about to start.
In the flesh. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Well, hold up. Written invitation first.
Can I present another piece of identification?
Nope. That's why we send the invitation.
Holmes, any luck?
None. They're holding an auction, invitation only. The good news is, I know who might have one. We need to find Mr. Barnaby.
Who?
Frank Barnaby, most likely a local.
And you think Mr. Barnaby will be happy to share his invitation?
Let us first find him, then we can see if he is the generous type. Help me, please.
I've heard about that. Let me tell you.
How marvelous, Holmes. A city within a city.
Indeed. Those lanterns are delightful. It is as though we have been transported to the Orient itself. Locked. No one's here. Rather unassuming for a jewelry store.
Damn, he at it again. Barnaby still owes you. If he can't pay in greenbacks, he'll pay in blood.
May I ask for your assistance?
I'm bone-tied, but yeah, I'll help you.
This place has a Spartan charm, does it not?
It does. My soul will always yearn for London's gloom, but it reminds me of Cordona in a nice way.
Yeah.
Barnaby, unconscious but with his eyes open. Look, Watson, the two of you are just alike.
Oh, great. So I look like a haggard alcoholic.
Eureka!
What have you got?
An idea. First, we'll need Mr. Barnaby's clothes.
Holmes.
Watson, time is of the essence. You will go to the bank, not as yourself, but as Frank Barnaby.
Holmes, we look nothing alike.
The hat and coat will do the heavy lifting. Just stay cool, play the part, and no one will notice the difference. Trust me.
Holmes, must we really indulge in this farce?
It worked in Switzerland, didn't it?
Sure, if you redefine the word worked.
Where's my cash, Frank? In the bartender's tip jar? Where's the money, Barnaby?
I'll wait here so as not to arouse suspicion.
Mr. Barnaby.
Right you are. Shop owner.
Right. Your invitation, sir?
Here you go.
You okay, sir? Seem to have the jumps.
I'm in a rush.
Come on in.
Heavens, I never seen gems so big.
I simply must
They're
have
so
them.
black, it's like they absorb light. Rather hypnotic. This might be useful. I'll make a note.
Morning, sir, and welcome to the E.W. Gray Banking House. The auction will begin shortly. Name's Zoe Clemens, and I'd be delighted to help you.
Pleasure to meet you, Miss Clemens. I am Frank Barnaby. I do have some questions, if you don't mind. These gems are rather curious. What can you tell me about them?
These rare beauties are black opals, all the way from Coober Pedy, South Australia. When they catch the light, the dark stone becomes a brilliant rainbow. It's something special.
Forgive my curiosity, but who was the previous owner?
Sir, I ain't at liberty to disclose them details.
It doesn't say where these stones came from, no provenance, no previous owner. I'm starting to suspect they were illegally procured.
What? We would never. I can assure you these gems were bought from one of New Orleans' most upstanding citizens, a philanthropist no less. If you would like to know more, I could get my manager.
You old dog, Barnaby. Didn't think you'd sober up for the auction. An hour ago, you were 3 sheets to the wind.
Oh, you know, I hold my liquor better than most. And the auction was an important business opportunity.
An important business opportunity? Ha! What have you done with the real Barnaby?
Well, maybe I'm drunker than I thought, mister.
Mister? What's wrong, Frank? You're looking pale. Don't you recognize your old pal, Grub?
Of course I know you, Sheriff.
Good. Now, while I have you, there's the matter of your outstanding fines. I've been more than reasonable, but I'm afraid the bills come due.
Fines? Right. I'm afraid I don't have anything on me.
That's funny. Ain't you at the auction? I weren't born yesterday, Frank. Now, assault, battery, disorderly conduct, that's serious stuff. You got off easy, but if you don't pay up, things get a whole lot worse.
Look, Sheriff, I'm not actually...
Whoa. Think careful now, 'cause Frank Barnaby only owes us cash. But fraud, impersonation, that's weasel behavior. And you know what we do to weasels round these parts. Feed 'em to the gators. So, Frank, what's it gonna be?
Here's all I have.
Mighty fine of you. The people of this parish deserve peace. They don't take kindly to visitors. Don't miss that boat tomorrow morning, Doctor.
I told you, Holmes. I told you it was a bad plan. Now we're penniless and wanted criminals.
Hysteria gets us nowhere, Watson. Tell me what happened.
The sheriff saw right through me. He knew who I was from the start. Extorted me for every coin I had.
Bah, all that matters is what you learned about the gems.
I shan't discuss it while still wearing that blighter's clothes. I'm going back to the boat to get changed.
No! Was that your luggage again? I don't understand. We just got it back in order.
The pox on the crew. Oh, bollocks, now our clothes are in the bloomin' water.
It was like the luggage had legs of its own. Oh, Mr. Pratchett will have my head.
I ain't sure what you did to the sheriff, but it must have been something real hairy to have him chuck your luggage off the pier.
With respect, miss, have we met before?
If you were the real Frank Barnaby, yeah, we would have. But where are my manners? I'm Lucy. And you are?
John, I didn't mean to be rude. I've just had a difficult day, miss.
Well, it's barely noon. And you've already made an enemy in Sheriff Grubb. The man starves his gators just in case someone crosses him. John who?
Watson.
Well, Johnny, if you plan on sticking around, you better change that suit, or Frank's reputation will catch up with you. And then you'll be a John Doe.
Alas, I think one of those gators is currently devouring my spare clothes.
You've got yourself in a fine pickle. All right, come on board the Nymph of Louisiana, and I'll sort you something to wear.
The nymph? Is that what it sounds like? Why are you helping me?
Well, let's just say you ain't the only one who's had run-ins with the sheriff. Way I see it, this city deserves better. Now quit your stalling and head on over to the Nymph. I'll be in room 6.
This Mr. Barnaby is proving rather useful. Perhaps you're not so different after all.
One more word, Holmes, and I'll hand you over to the sheriff.
Sorry, was that John talking or Frank?
Oh, go annoy someone else while I visit the Nymph. May I ask you something?
I don't want to disappoint you, but I'm clueless.
Well, look at you. All dressed up with nowhere to go.
I can't thank you enough. As I was saying, our journey has hardly gone to plan. We seem no closer to finding our missing people than when we left.
Well, if there were anything to know, Champagne'll know it. She's across everything in New Orleans. Look for her in the fisherman's village behind the Creole Quarter.
Thank you again, Lucy. I shall make my way there now.
Good luck, Johnny. Keep out of trouble.
Ah, forgive me, Watson. The difference is plain as day. What a remarkable transformation from Barnaby.
If we're critiquing wardrobes, Holmes, maybe you can explain why you used to roll just one sleeve up. Did you get bored halfway through?
I'm gonna die. Gonna die.
Are you all right, sir?
It'll come again. I will die.
What happened?
The lower of death came to me last night. I know it will come again.
Let's start from the beginning. My name is Sherlock Holmes. Could you describe last night's events for me?
I'm Cole Seabrook. It was Maman Brigitte. She came to me in the shape of a giant black rooster. Before that, some hit the wall outside. Then she came in. She took my will and she led me to the water.
Perhaps you were dreaming?
I wish I was. The great gator was there. It called me and I couldn't resist, but then the spell broke and I managed to crawl ashore.
Interesting.
I know how it sounds to an outsider, but it was the lower of death and it ain't finished with me.
Did you feel anything apart from fear last night?
Yeah. The signs of Maman's presence, no doubt about it. Everything became blurry and my mouth was dry and the light became very bright.
That is something. You mentioned a lower. What is that exactly?
You outsiders only know one God. But there are many and we call them lowers. And Maman Brigitte is one of them. She is the lower of death and life. She heals the righteous and punishes the guilty.
He dropped a cup here. Cold ground herbs here. Interesting. It smells sweet. This one is almost odorless. I will take it just in case.
I would love to learn more about these. The heating
Some
properties
chewing
of some
tobacco
herbs are
leaves.
truly amazing
Cheap,
herbs.
and some are extremely dangerous. Supper leftovers. It's not a simple tea. A herbal concoction, rather.
Black tea seems not to be very popular here.
He dropped a cup here. I must ask...
No, sir. It all happened before I went to bed, and I only drink to fall asleep. That's just how it is lately.
There are too many imprints here. It's hard to say where he did or didn't go. More boot prints here. We have a feathered friend in the case. Judging by the facial feat, with William in Shri... Are you a good fisherman, Cole?
I wouldn't say so, sir.
Poor bird crashed against Cole's house. The damage is recent. Your boat is wrecked. What happened?
Well, I stumbled over a cypress root.
You'd need some force to cause that damage.
Yeah, and to be really down on your luck. Oh, no two ways about it.
Tocqueville? Lafayette! Hush now. No offense here. Them two don't take kindly to gents. Especially foreigners. How can champagne help you? Trip to the bayou? Feeding a huge crocodile?
Some other time, perhaps. Word has it you know everything that goes on round these parts.
Maybe. Maybe not. What you want to know?
The bank in town recently purchased a valuable collection of gemstones from a wealthy man. What do you know of it?
Sure. I hear everything. This time I tell you for free. Next time, you pay.
Thank you.
May have been 2 weeks ago. Rich man's butler sold him some black opals.
And this rich man is?
Don't know his name, only that he from the French Quarter. Folk back in town could take you there. That's all I know. You need a boat? I hire 'em out for dollars. Or a bottle of you-know-what.
Thank you for the offer and the help.
Careful. Nolans may look welcoming, but not every smile is friendly.
A feather.
Did you really expect to find the feather of rock here?
Cole was having dinner. He was alone. The herbal decoction started to affect him. He became dizzy and dropped the cup. Hallucinations and stimulation brought him outside. He could have drowned if not for the sobering effects of the cold water.
Sir?
Cole, I am sure that you were alone last night. The Lowers were not with you.
Well, what else could you say?
I didn't say that I disbelieve you. I'm wondering about this recipe.
It's just herbal tea. I went to Mr. Samdi and he gave me the recipe to help calm my heart.
Is he a doctor?
He is a voodooist. It was risky, but all I wanted was some sleep.
Where can I find him?
On the side of the church at one of the entrances to the Fisherman's Quarter. Look for a Veve sign, but watch what you say. He has the power of voodoo.
I'll be careful. Watson, what have we here? A local crime star.
A star? You have a strange way with words. Frankly, we have more pressing matters.
I'm not going after these troublemakers, but the posters will add nicely to my collection of criminal profiles. I read a study that suggests facial features can determine a person's tendency towards cruelty or deviant behavior.
Well, you can't stop progress.
Are you able to help me?
I thought no one would ever ask.
Is this familiar to you?
I'm sorry. You should search for answers somewhere else.
Sir?
Cole, where are these herbs from?
I bought them from Zora. Her stall is at the market near the port.
Are you able to help me?
I don't wish to be rude, but I don't have a clue about this.
Where you at, gentlemen? Here to enjoy yourselves?
Yeah, I bet Zora will kill her. Did you see how she rushed there? Fearsome. Yeah, I'm afraid for them Chinese and for anyone who messes with her.
Is this familiar to you?
I'm bone tired, but yeah, I'll help you.
At least the weather is on our side.
Are these herbs fresh? And you dare call my product substandard?
Hopefully we won't stumble upon the sheriff.
Excuse me, are you Zora?
Product substandard. I am. What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I have several questions, if you don't mind. I came here because Cole Seabrook mentioned you. Do you know him?
Unfortunately, yeah. He's my late husband's brother. Do you want to buy something?
Not really. I wanted to ask if you have the herbs from this list.
Goldenrod, jasmine, strawberry. These are very common. I do sell them same as any other herb merchant.
Have you heard of Jimson weed?
A poisonous plant, but it can help ease the pain if you know how to use it. Some believe you can use it to create a zombie, a will-less slave.
Is that what you wanted for Cole? Or did you sell it accidentally?
Did Cole get what he deserved? The Loas heard my prayers.
So you admit it was on purpose?
I admit there's a higher power maintaining order and justice in this world, and Cole got what he deserved. I'm happy that it happened, but that doesn't mean I'm to blame.
Can I ask what caused such hatred?
The sheriff confiscated all our weapons, and then the disappearance began. William wanted one rifle, just one, to protect us. Cole was too eager to help, and as a result, my Will got a bullet in his chest.
How did Cole explain what took place?
He just walked away as if nothing happened. Cole is the reason I lost my husband, and he should pay for it.
Don't you want to know what really happened?
For me, it's clear. An innocent man would tell everything. Only the guilty remain silent.
Sir?
I've learned about your tragedy, Cole. My condolences.
Zora told you, didn't she?
Can you tell me what happened and why you feel guilty?
My brother died. I'm alive, and William is not. That's why.
Tell me, what was the plan?
William had to get into the warehouse through the eastern gate, the one not far from the market on the edge of the railroad. I hid behind the barrels. I was on the lookout.
So what went wrong?
William went in, then came back with a rifle. I saw him jump off the crate, and then bang! He was lying there dead.
Did you see who shot him?
It was the bloody sheriff. I swear I saw him smiling.
What happened next?
My heart stopped. I froze. Then the sheriff yelled, "See if there are more rats." And I woke up. I ran away. I had just one task and I failed it. And for my mistake, the lower of death will come for me.
Tobacco. That's the spot.
I hid behind the barrels. I was on the lookout.
An oily handprint. The substance has solidified. I assume that this is cosmoline with which the gun was lubricated.
William went in, then came back with a rifle.
William was shot here. The bullet went through him, and based on its velocity and mass, I would say the shooter was no more than 35 or 40 feet away. This lamp did not leave William a chance to go unnoticed. The sheriff stood here. Cole had no chance to spot him approaching.
It's a terrible choice of position, and it cost his brother his life.
Then the sheriff yelled, "See if there are more rats!" And I woke up.
And what did Cole do?
My heart stopped. I froze.
Cole sought safety in flight.
Now I see why Cole thinks he deserved it. He simply left his brother behind.
He did not have much of an option.
Sad. I think Zora would like to know about this.
What do you want? What do you want?
Ma'am, I spoke with Cole about your husband and went to the warehouse to inspect it. I cannot say that either he or your late husband were innocent. They both decided to steal.
How dare you? My William only wanted to protect us.
The same as Cole did. However, I know the man responsible for William's death. It is the sheriff.
That jackal. Anyway, don't expect words of gratitude from me, Mr. Holmes. Your truth changes nothing. I won't promise to forgive Cole.
I have good news. No lowers are coming for you. You were poisoned.
What?
Zora sold you Jimson weed instead of jasmine. That was the cause of your hallucination. She wanted revenge.
It doesn't change anything. Look, the lowers were guiding her. I deserved it.
I went to the warehouse and I know what happened. You are guilty of a poorly chosen observation point, but not of William's death. Your only choice was to run or die with him.
That's what I should have done. I should have died with my brother.
Your quarter doesn't need another wretched man. You must keep living. For your brother's sake.
But how Zora looked at me? I had no right to move on after what happened.
She might not be ready to forgive yet, but don't give up. You can only earn Zora's forgiveness by being alive.
That's not as easy as it sounds.
Don't waste the life you have on something that can't be undone.
You can look at my dogs, but don't touch them. Don't tarry, Sheriff. Lest skeeters get to you.
May I ask you something?
Oh, I've heard talk.
Perhaps when this is over, we can try the Louisiana cuisine.
Closed auction, gems sold. By invitation only. Can you satisfy my curiosity?
No, first I've heard of it.
Then you want to just go over there.
This will be enough for my collection.
As long as you don't hang those ugly faces up at Baker Street.
Got a spot in mind.
French Quarter, and get us there fast. You know, Watson, the opulent mansions and stifling heat remind me of my time in the Mediterranean.
Cortana does sound rather magical. Do you think you shall ever return?
I don't know. That place was home to some of my greatest memories and some of my lowest moments.
Hey, you ain't good. Yeah, I got you. No, just I really don't want any of it again.
Lord help me.
Excuse me, miss. Are you all right? What is your name?
Eula, sir.
Waiting for someone, Eula?
Yes, sir. My brother Davy. He works for Mr. Arneson in that mansion yonder. Been 5 days now since I last heard from him.
Come now, why all the tears?
Something happened to Davy. I feel it in my bones.
Do you think he may have left the premises?
No, sir. Davy, he ain't like you and me. He's smart in some ways, but he can't talk. Not a word. He's pure and kind.
Fear not. We will look for your brother. One presumes this gate is locked. Is there any other way inside?
There's another entrance through the stables you could try. That's where I meet Davy normally, but I couldn't get in. See, I couldn't find the key. It wasn't in its usual spot. Please hurry, sir. Find him for me.
I rather wish my lockpicks had not been lost in the river.
Along with all our clothes, books, tea.
This must be the key. Poor animal has been suffering for days.
It's dehydrated, Holmes. Without water, it will die.
Mr. Arneson's cab is still here. Cayenne pepper. Half empty. Or as Watson would say, half full.
You know me.
This might be useful.
At least that's one life saved.
No way in. Size 10, the owner's footprints were shallow. Size 10, the heels are sinking into the ground. Look here, Doctor. 2 sets of footprints left by the same person, yet they vary in depth. What do you conclude?
Perhaps they arrived empty-handed, but
There's
left
blood here.
carrying something heavy.
Precisely. I'll make a detective of you yet, Watson.
Ah! Do you smell that, Holmes? Something bad happened here.
I know. Be prepared for anything. Watson, would you please lend me your medical expertise?
I'll do my best. An enormous blow shattered her ribcage. Blooded, broken nails. The poor woman tried to put up a fight. Extremely sharp and deadly. A wound like this could only be dealt by a man of incredible strength.
And cruelty. Tea for two. An odd glimpse of normalcy amid the horror. A used kitchen towel. I will need your help one more time, Doctor.
His corneas are already clouded. A deep stab reached the man's heart. Clean edges suggest a sharp blade, but the wound is too wide for an ordinary knife. The hand can bend freely. Rigor mortis has passed. Hay on his trousers suggests a gardener or groom. This man has been dead for a week. The result of a sharp object piercing his heart.
You are mostly right. But I would bet he died 5 days ago. Heat and humidity will have accelerated the decomposition. Someone was bleeding, but it doesn't look lethal. Burnt papers, now completely unreadable. The bent end of this can... A trail of wax leads to the door. Someone smaller walked over these boot prints. The candle was burning when it fell. A few drops of blood, but not from a mortal wound. More boot prints. More boot prints. Luxurious shoes, size 9. These fingers were severed with a single clean stroke, but I don't see the... Look, Watson, animal prints. I wonder what kind. Boots, size 10. A scrap of silk, soft and elegant. More boot prints.
What horrors happened here?
Arneson and Davy seem to have got along well. He looks more like a son than a servant. Arneson and Davy. New Pied Piper. Foreigners missing. Fauna of Louisiana. Full of things that bite, no doubt. Dashing portrait of Mr. Arneson.
This place sets my teeth on edge, Holmes.
A dull book about local geology. Even I'd struggle.
What I wouldn't give for a nice bath right now, Holmes.
Why does it look so familiar?
Today started poorly and went downhill from there. The sooner we get what we need, the sooner we can leave this horrible place.
Note the blade, Watson.
A curved dagger, probably of Persian or Indian origin. 9 or 10 inches, I'd say.
An intruder entered through the back door at night, leaving mud traces in the hallway. Without being noticed, they picked up a candlestick and struck the man in the chair from behind. In the kitchen, 2 people were drinking tea, the workman and cook. They were startled by the noise of a falling body and went to investigate the parlor. The workman tried to subdue the intruder but was stabbed by the attacker's knife. Judging by the wound, it was a curved blade. The cook panicked and fled back to the kitchen. The intruder followed, but since their blade was stuck in the workman, they used the meat cleaver on the table to kill her. Someone smaller arrived and discovered the carnage. They dropped the candlestick in horror and ran for safety to a room down the hallway. Meanwhile, the intruder returned to his first victim and dragged their stunned body away from the fireplace and out into the garden. Davy, please open the door.
After all this, Holmes, I doubt the young man would open the door to a stranger. The sooner we get what we need, the sooner we can leave this horrible place.
Watson, quick! Get her down.
Ligature marks on her neck. There'll be a bruise, but she should be okay.
Doctor, Watson, speak to me. How is she?
We were just in time, Holmes. Eula is stable, but lucky to be alive. We should take her to a hospital for a further examination.
Yes. I fear I was wrong, Watson. The sheriff is not a man to be underestimated. To lynch an innocent woman just to send a message, it's evil. We're not safe in this city, nor is anyone around us.
Then we must not dawdle. Help me get Eula to her feet.
No. I will not leave here without Davy.
Miss, please, we must get you help.
No, I will not be deterred. I will get my brother and bring him home.
If my deductions are correct, Davy lies behind this door. He ought to be unhurt, but is no doubt shaken.
Davy, you there?
Davy, we understand what you witnessed before. It's safe now. You're safe. Please, let us in. Your sister wants to see you.
Everything will be all right, I promise.
Yeah, them gentlemen speak the truth. Just open the door. Big sister's here for you. Davy, oh, come here, you! Thanks, sirs. Lord bless your souls.
Let me examine him, miss. I want to make sure he is unharmed.
Remember, he may be mute, but he still understands you.